Hello, sisters and brothers. Our devotional for today, for June 13, is a reflection on My Utmost for His Highest, series of devotionals written and compiled by Oswald Chambers. You can always find the link for the daily devotional at utmost.org. And today's devotional is the third in a series that Chambers titles Getting There. And for that, we're going to turn to Luke chapter 18. It's a familiar story. I won't read all of it, but we will turn to Luke 18, verse 18, and read through verse 22. A certain ruler asked Jesus, "Good teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" "Why do you call me good?" Jesus answered, "No one is good except God alone. You know the commandments. You shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not give false testimony, honor your father and mother." "All these I have kept since I was a boy," he said. When Jesus heard this, he said to him, "You still lack one thing. Sell everything you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me." And as I mentioned, Chambers titles this devotional Getting There, and focuses on that phrase, "Come follow me," from verse 22. Where our individual desire dies and sanctified surrender lives. One of the greatest hindrances in coming to Jesus is the excuse of our own individual temperament. We make our temperament and our natural desires barriers to coming to Jesus. Yet the first thing we realize when we do come to Jesus is that he pays no attention whatsoever to our natural desires. We have the idea that we can dedicate our gifts to God. However, you cannot dedicate what is not yours. There is actually only one thing you can dedicate to God, and that is your right to yourself. See Romans 12, verse 1. If you will give God your right to yourself, he will make a holy experiment out of you, and his experiments always succeed. The one true mark of a saint of God is the inner creativity that flows from being totally surrendered to Jesus Christ. In the life of a saint, there is this amazing well, which is a continual source of original life. The Spirit of God is a well of water springing up perpetually fresh. A saint realizes that it is God who engineers his circumstances. Consequently, there are no complaints, only unrestrained surrender to Jesus. Never try to make your experience a principle for others, but allow God to be as creative and original with others as he is with you. If you abandon everything to Jesus and come when he says come, then he will continue to say come through you. You will go out into the world reproducing the echo of Christ's come. That is the result in every soul who has abandoned all and come to Jesus. Have I come to him? Will I come now? So this one, for me, gets at that phrase that's one of my favorites from Chambers about abandoning and surrendering our right to ourselves. And the reason it is so beloved by me is because it just reminds me of what I continually need to do. I grew up in the church, and there was a certain aspect where I was never really, it's not that I was bored with Christianity, but there was this point in time where you're like, well, doesn't it mean that I just have to be like everybody else? And it doesn't. We're not meant to live someone else's faith journey. And God is far more creative than that. I mean, look at the way that he has made all of us unique with unique interests and experiences and passions. All of that is part of a reflection of God's creativity. So when we surrender ourselves to God, he simply takes the materials and just makes them what he always intended them to be. And as such a beautiful phrase at the end of the devotional, where we are meant to be the echo of Christ's come and follow me, so that if we are living in such a way that we are surrendered to God's will, we have given up our right to ourselves, then that very same invitation, that drawing power of Jesus' words, will be reflected and shown through our lives. That's beautiful, and that's powerful, and that's something that we should all seek to have. I feel challenged by that, and frankly renewed and refreshed to hear that as a reminder of what I ought to be. So, thank you as always for listening. I hope you are encouraged today. Be safe and stay well.